So I'm Jas Kaur, Head of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion at Birmingham and Solihull Mental Health Trust. In reality, what that means is responsibility for workforce and service user access, experience and outcomes. Well, I started off as a Band 2 community development worker back in the day when we were working on delivering race equality and mental health services. So race equality from quite I wouldn't say an early age, but from the beginning of my career. And that was in mental health services. So from that experience, I developed quite a passion for especially community engagement and then public health. And then I've worked through various different spaces, but predominantly focusing on some type of health space, some type of organisational development, and then also community engagement and community, not necessarily development, but community empowerment. I get a lot of affection when I talk about APNA. So I bumbled my way onto the APNA NHS group back in the day because I said to Jagtar, how come my husband's on there and I'm not on there? So is that a bit of favouritism or do you just not like women? And he was like, hold on a minute, Jas. I do lots for women's empowerment. I was like, well, I can't see it. And actually, I'm not benefiting from any of that. So maybe it's other people, but what are you going to do to help me to help myself? And so Jagtar was really open and transparent in relation to share your voice, this platform's here, do what you've got to do. And really supported me to amplify some of my own kind of challenges, but also support others to do that as well. And I think the APNA NHS, in its kind of infancy in relation to the WhatsApp group or the kind of ad hoc conversations or the get-togethers, they really helped knit people together and also give some form of psychological solidarity. You know, sometimes in the workplaces when you're feeling quite alone, and your phone will go off and it's a message. I might not read it there and then, but it's like a visual prompt to say, actually, this is ours. And the word APNA signifies that so strongly. So even when I see the messages come up, and I don't know, it might be a COVID resource or it's about what's going on in the news or actually something really detrimental has happened over here, it makes me think that I've got a personal responsibility to do something about that within the influence that I've got. So it's kind of having hijacked my way onto the experience. I feel some type of solidarity to it, but I also feel okay not to constantly be posting stuff or not to constantly be sharing stuff, but have it as an ethos. The fundamental, especially when you can build the trust and confidence that I think APNA has enabled. So I would go back to, and I'm not just saying it for saying its sake, but having that fundamental leadership which Jagtar has provided. And it's not just leadership, it's accessible leadership and visible leadership in terms of his vulnerability, his drive, his openness, his transparency in terms of sharing. What that does is role model actually what everybody else needs. So when you see that's working, you go and do that yourself, naturally. And what APNA NHS has done has allowed that to scale. So there's over 300 people on that WhatsApp group. We've never met each other for a lot of us, but actually there's some element of connection and familiarity, trust and confidence. There are regular posters, but nobody says to the other 200 people, you never post anything. There's not that othering. So you do what you can do when you can do it, and people are really respectful of that. I think the proof will be at the pudding in terms of what we do as a result of this. So it's really easy, as the challenge was put in terms of the conference, for us to walk away and not do anything differently. But ultimately, what are we individually and collectively going to do is my question to myself and to the rest of the group. So the people that I have those connections with and that the people that have attended today, but also colleagues that are back at base, those that haven't been able to attend, how do we use this as a platform for that change and a real catalyst really in terms of enabling that conversation?